Guys, welcome to another video. You've got Mr. Everything English, and today guys I am giving you a brand new plot that you can use for any question 5. Let's begin. Everything Education. Tuition for maths, English and science. Now guys, if you've watched any of my content for the past few years, you know that when it comes to paper 1 question 5, which is 50% of the GCSE, which is the creative writing story question, I've always said don't risk your exam by going into the exam and thinking of a story raw. I've always said pre-plan your question 5. Think of a plot beforehand and use it on the day of your exam. I've released Priest Part 1, Priest Part 2, the Amazon story, the Netflix story. You can use any of those, or you can use the new story, Priest Part 3. Now, as the year goes on, I'll be releasing more and more stories, and I'll show you guys how to apply them to every question 5 that's ever come up. But first, let's go over the new story, Priest Part 3, and it is called Error Number 666. Guys, it is a 5-paragraph story. In paragraph 1 of your story, you are a priest and you've been sent to hell, and it recaps your first 1,000 years in hell. You are punished, you are tortured, but halfway through, you begin to accept your fate, and you abandon your name as Father Michael and you become inmate number 666. 666 is symbolic because it is the devil's number, symbolically. Then guys, paragraph number 2, and it's the present day. So this is 1,000 years since you've been inside hell. And over the years, you've risen up and you are now the devil's right-hand man. You've risen through the ranks of hell. And you describe the new priest. The new priest, guys, isn't a goody-goody. The Bible has dust all over it. Your top collar is open. You're smoking cigars. You are enjoying your freedom. You aren't the man you once were. You love this evil side of yours. Paragraph number 3. You are summoned by the angels. They want to speak to you. So the angels, they call you for a meeting and they sit you down. And they explain to you, and this is where you can use dialogue. They explain to you that 1,000 years ago, they made a fatal mistake. What was their mistake? You were never supposed to be sent to hell. They made a mistake. You were supposed to go to heaven and you instead came to hell. Therefore, they are now telling you that you must go to heaven. Paragraph number 4. You're packing your bags. You're taking out the Bible. You're putting up your collar. You're becoming the priest that you once were. But the difference is, this time you're sad. This time you're upset. You don't want to go to heaven. You don't want to become the man you once were. You enjoy your new evil self, your new free self. Guys, paragraph number 5. I've written the priest leaves hell. So maybe all the murderers and all the criminals, they line up and they clap as you leave hell because you are their boss, you are their leader. And it's juxtaposition. And how it ends is entirely up to you. Does the priest leave? Does he stop? How does your story end? Now, this is a 5-paragraph plot that I believe can be applied to any question. These are all the different GCSE questions since 2017 all the way up to 2023. Now, let's make this fit all of these questions. In June 2017, the question was, write a story about 2 people from very different backgrounds. Guys, easy peasy. When the priest first enters hell and he meets the devil, 2 opposite people. Yes, the priest changes and he becomes more and more evil, but initially it's that contrast. How things turn out unexpectedly. Who would have thought that the priest would be upset to go to heaven? November 2018, write a story about time travel. Guys, we're moving 1,000 years into the future to come to the present day. How he feels abandoned. The priest has always felt abandoned by God. From the very beginning, he couldn't believe that God put him in hell in the first place. So deep inside him, he's always felt abandoned by God. Magical world. Hell is a magical world. Magic doesn't mean wands and wizards. Magical means something unusual. Who would have thought that the priest would grow to love hell? The fire and the punishments are magical because over time, he begins to love them. An event that cannot be explained. The angels cannot explain how they made the mistake. A new beginning. Heaven is sold to the priest as this is your chance to have a new beginning, is to have a new fresh start. June 2022, a life-saving rescue. Maybe at the end, when the priest is leaving, as he's trying to get out of hell, the devil saves him. That's his life-saving rescue. Unlikely friendship, same to the first one. Who would have thought that the priest would become the devil's right-hand man? And the last one, guys, write a story about a human meeting an animal. Maybe as the priest rises through the ranks of hell, the devil gives him a snake and he carries a snake around his neck, and the snake is a symbol of how evil he is. Do you see, guys, how you can apply a basic plot to every single GCSE question that's ever come up? And that's exactly what I would like you, or what I encourage you all to do before your GCSE exam. This is 50% of your exam. Get it done and learn it out of the way. Now, the most important thing is this. We've got our story. Guys, we've got our story. Language devices, vocabulary, punctuation, and structure. That's what you should focus on. So my advice is, whichever plot you use, pick your plot and write it out using language devices, vocabulary, punctuation, and structure. Get it marked by your teacher, improve it. Get it marked again, improve it. Until you get it to a certain standard. Then you learn it off by heart, then you use it in your exams, as long as you can tweak it to match any question. And guys, no, it's not plagiarism. I always say it, guys, no, it's not plagiarism, because you're simply taking an idea. You're simply taking an idea and making it your own. Guys, let me very quickly show you guys how I would write out the first paragraph. Today is my birthday. Not the day I was born, but the day I died. On this day, my fate was signed, sealed, and delivered. Rule of 3. It read, hell is your abode, and that is where I have been ever since. Life has not been easy, exclamation mark. So far, I've got language devices and punctuation. The first 100 years were spent in a boiling furnace. Every hair on my body was burnt to a crisp. Then for 200 years, I ate coal day after day, month after month. I then had my eyeballs plucked out, cleaned of the sins they witnessed upon the earth. That's me recapping all the punishments that I went through when I entered hell. Then it all changed. Short sentence. From being morose, vocabulary, I once again felt fervent, vocabulary. I had somewhat began to accept my new home. I had no choice but to adapt. So like a chameleon, simile, language device, I changed my skin. I was no longer Father Michael, I now was reborn. Inmate number 666. And that is me writing the first paragraph of that story. Now, of course, guys, don't copy that first paragraph because that is my writing. But I just wanted to give you an example of how I would write out that first paragraph. It's in the first person. It has language devices, it has vocabulary, it has punctuation, and it has structure. You do that 5 times across your essay, guys, you are setting yourself up to be in a very good position in your exam. Alright guys, that was the first free plot of this year. There's loads more coming. Please do choose whichever ones you want, or if you'd rather not, then don't choose any of them. But I'm here to make your life easier, so I'm begging you guys to make your life easier, pre-plan your question 5 rather than risking it on the day of your exam. Guys, as always, it's been Mr. Everything English. Peace.